All right, let's get to it, guys. Today, February 17th, we're learning how to multiply and divide radical expressions. Remember, radical expressions are, for example, I don't know, something like, let's use a variable x squared cube rooted. Pretty much that radical sign, that little half house thing is a radical sign, and there's a number or variable with that. That's a radical expression. And also remember, you can rewrite this in exponent form. In this example, the exponent to the variable x would be 2 over 3. Yes, the 3 root means in exponent form, it'll be on the denominator, the square will be on top. But let's get to these examples to see how to multiply and divide radical expressions. What is the product of this guy, this radical expression here, and this radical expression there in simplest radical form? All right, so product means multiply. So don't let that confuse you. So here, let's multiply. And before we multiply, let's make sure the square root of 21 on the left, it can't be simplified any. Like a perfect square can't be divided out, can it? I don't think so. I don't think none of these numbers I'm writing up here can be divided out. And nor can it for the 6 on the right, on the square root of 6. So those are simplified as they are. All right, so let's multiply as we can. Well, 4 and 7 can multiply. It's like multiplying like terms. Like 4 and 7 are like terms, they can be multiplied. So you got 28. And then like terms, 21 and 6 as a radical there, as a square root. Those can be multiplied. 21 times 6, let me use a calculator over here. 126. Right, so get black. So I've seen this to be my answer so far. I multiplied the 4 and the 7, got 28, 21 and 6, I got 126. But I don't think we're totally done yet. Let's put in the simplest radical form. So what I mean by that is, all right, back to this, y'all. Like I said, that 126 looks like it can be reduced. And it turns out, so honestly, I think this is something we should do on the side. 126, I find the biggest, perfect square to be 9 that I can divide out. And we're left with 14. So all this would, square root of 9 is 3. Follow that square root of 14 along. So yeah, so I'm going to replace square root of 126 with 3, square root of 14. Clean this up a bit by doing 28 times 3. 84, square root of 14. Boom. So that's how we multiply. And it just calls on some simplifying radical tools. All right, moving on. Simplifying the simplest, expressed in the simplest radical form. So another multiply. You see, there's 2 radicals, and you're just multiplying the 2. So these 5 and 30 can multiply because they're both radicals. And what is 30 times 5? It's 150. Okay, so we multiplied. Now it's a matter of simplifying to the simplest radical form. And I remember doing this like yesterday or something. I believe it's 5 squared of 6. Yeah. But simplifying radicals shouldn't be something new really today. Just understanding when to multiply. And moving on, it's an example of knowing when to divide. Expressed in the simplest radical form, square root of 75 divided by 10. A fraction bar does mean divide. So let's divide, I guess, but what's the problem? 75 can't be divided by 10. Why? Because 75 is in the radical, is in the square root. So let's see if we can't simplify the 75. And you can. It's going to be this, okay? If you need to pause and see how I got that, that's not a bad idea. But to avoid giving you too much information at once, I'm just going to skip stuff we learned yesterday and the day before. All right, and the bottom, so we simplified the square root of 75. On the bottom, we have 10. So now I see it's possible to simplify. Because 5 over 10, that's just 1 over 2. So I see the simplest answer to be this. See, I divided the top and bottom by 5. You know, if your fraction simplifying skills are on point, you should be able to note that right away. But it's just about knowing that you can do it in these kind of situations, even if there's a radical. All right, moving on. Let's see. All right, another divide question. Divide question. How do I know that? It's a fraction bar. And wait a second. Look, 56 divided by 8. I believe I can get something from that. And they're like terms. They're both radicals. So 56 divided by 8 is square root of 7. Whoa. And does square root of 7 simplify? I believe not. There's no perfect square to divide out of that. So, whoa, that's the answer. So just see how different that is from the top one. The bottom one, they're both radicals. They're both like terms. You know, they're dividable. But the top, the two numbers weren't dividable. But when you pull out the perfect squared, make it a normal number like 5, you can simplify that with the 10 underneath. Cool. Hope this helps.